What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? Today we're bringing you a top 10 list. Holy fuck, we added 5 goddamn things to the list. Top 10 tips to improving at Smite. This is a good one. These are some really basic things that if you're doing them, you're gonna improve and get better so goddamn fast.
Yes, sir.
So fucking fast. Before we jump right into the video, I need you guys to check out Postmates. This video, my stream, the last 2 days are all sponsored by Postmates. I have a link below. If you download the app for me, it will track it. I can see how many people have used my link to download the app, and we have a goal of 200. We're like 20 off, 21 I think off from the stream last night. Guys, go ahead and hit the download button and download Postmates. You can literally get anything from anywhere. You can get food, you get alcohol if you're 21, you can get toothpaste, you can get anything delivered to you or anything set up for you to go pick up. It's awesome. Plus code weekend will get you $5 off your first 5 orders. So that is an option, and if you do that, you're supporting me, so I would appreciate that. If not, it's all good. Life, it's the way it is. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this top 10 video. Number 10 on the list, 1 on the list. Really, the order of these don't matter. You need to do most of them if that's possible, if you can. Reading body movement in Smite game. If you pay attention to the way someone moves or jukes the first 2 or 3 times they do it, they will consistently juke that way. This then transitions into more of your gameplay style. If you're playing gods like Thanatos or gods where you have very large damaging abilities, you can use those abilities as a bait. You can make people keep juking, and during that time, they're not moving forward, they're moving left or right. When they juke left or right, you just keep autoing them. You never stop autoing until it's time to use your ability to kill them, or until they stop juking and they just start trying to get away. If you get used to this, start reading your opponent's movements and the way they do things, they continue. Lower level players specifically, like even more so, like it really, this translates and kind of transcends ranked or whatever rank you are. Most people, it's just like the human nature to have a very comfortable way to do anything in life. And in games, when you're thinking about 40 different things, you're trying to live, trying to use abilities, you're trying to know where people are, you're trying to tell your team what's happening, you're not thinking of juking, you're just doing what your brain is telling you. Your brain is going to keep telling you go left, go left, go left, go left, go left, or go right, go right, go right, go right, go right. It's going to be consistent. So if someone's juking your abilities and they keep going left, start throwing your abilities to the fucking left where they keep going. Easy hits, easy life. It'll make you a better player. Also, this goes beyond just juking. This goes into how people use their abilities. If people start leaping every time you do something, they'll keep doing that. If people start using one of their abilities the exact same and you use one of yours, they're gonna keep doing that. And you can use that to your advantage to win team fights, to win 1v1s, to pressure out your lane, to do a lot of different things. So think about that. Number 9 on the list is play a role that suits your mentality. If you play slow and kind of reserved and back, play mages. Mages are really good from a distance. They do a lot of damage. You want to sit back, you want to keep away from people, you want to do your damage from a distance, play mages. If you play tactically, you think a lot, you could do a little bit of everything, but you're always trying to be 2, 3, 4 steps ahead of everybody, play the jungle. If you're a frontline person, you just like to be in the action all the time, you like to be up in their faces, play solo lane, play support, whatever you like more, whatever sounds like more fun to you. If you're like, if any of these things connect with you, if any of these play styles are just the way you like to play. I like to play games aggressive, and I like to be the one that controls the pace of the game. So that's why I jungle. That's why I started jungling. That's why I like jungling. That's why I'm always done in my life. In life, during basketball, from being little until I was like a senior, I played point guard. Point guard on a basketball team controls the team. They control the pace of the team. They call the plays. They do all that stuff. That's what I did for most of my life. Translates into other things in other games. And I do the same thing in most video games. So you need to think about that when you play Smite. Number 8 on the list. I think we're at 8 already. Hold on. Make your mini map bigger. Blow that bitch up. Make it huge and center it in your screen. Not literally right in the middle, but pull it closer to the center of your screen. That way, when you're looking at people and you're using your abilities, your mini map is right there. You can make it a little more translucent. Maybe you want to see through a little more. That's fine. Go ahead and do that, but move it in bigger, closer, bigger. If you do that, you will slowly get used to it. It might take a couple days. You'll get a lot better. I personally, if you watch my gameplay, I don't do that. I got super used to my map being in one spot. You couldn't always move the map around, and it just became comfortable for me. Same reason I changed a lot of my UI to a specific way, because that is the way it used to be, and that's what's comfortable for me. I recommend for you, as you get better, just make the change now. It'll take 2 or 3 days to adopt it and adapt to it. and it'll make you a better player. Number 7 on the list, when pathing, always take the path with the most vision for yourself, especially when you have counter wards, so you know the other team doesn't have vision, and the path that is most safe. It is closer to your side of the map. It's closer to places that you know the enemy team can't be. So if that means pathing under a tower somewhere and not pathing high, if that means running through your jungle rather than through their jungle, always do that. I say always, and that's because as you learn and you start to realize, like, oh, I just passed safe. If I had gone here, I would have died. If I had gone there, I would have died. You start to recognize when you can and can't be aggressive. Just start off always pathing safe. Get that ingrained in your mind, especially if you're a squishy character. If you're a mage, if you're a hunter, if you're even most junglers, sometimes you got to be really safe if you don't have high mobility. Have that in your mind. Safe pathing will keep you alive longer and allow you to get to team fights at a higher health, which allows you to win more team fights. Number 6 on the list, use VGS and communications all the time throughout a game. Use it to warn people. As soon as a jungler enters the jungle, use VGS to say enemies missing mid, or say mid laner is missing, just enter. As soon as he goes left, he goes towards red buff. Tell your duo lane, hey, mid lane is here. Mid lane's pathing in. He just walked in the jungle. He can gank you. And as time goes on, he's gone for 3 seconds. He's been gone for a little bit. He should be back soon. Oh, he's not here. He's not here. You should back off. Retreat. Spam retreat to that duo lane. Spam retreat to that soul lane. Wherever you need to do. If you're a jungler, use it. Say, hey, jungler should be here. His speed's up right now, so don't play too far up in soul lane. Use that information. It'll allow you to make better decisions for yourself, and it'll keep your teammates alive and allow them to make better decisions for themselves. The more information you have, whether it's you think it's irrelevant or not, that's besides the point. The more information you have, the better decisions you can make. This applies to all levels of play, from bronze up to the SPL. Knowing little things like, hey, this person just used his leap. This guy just uses 1. He just uses 2. He just uses this. That's important. Knowing that. Knowing, hey, he just walked into this jungle. Hey, path here. He's pathing this way. He could gank you. His this is up. His that is up. His blink just came back up. Knowing information goes a long way. So use your VGS, your communication, to tell your teammates. You'll see a big improvement in your own gameplay and in their gameplay. Know your friggin' builds, please. Know your freaking builds. I say that, and I don't mean you need to memorize every goddamn build in the game. That's why I created a website. SmiteSource.com, boys. SmiteSource.com. All the builds, I just updated them. Don't even start bitching at me. Hunter builds, I took from pro hunter players. Solo builds, I took from pro solo laners. Jungle builds are really not changing too much. And then you have the auto attack golden blade builds, which are taken from everybody ever. Mid lane builds are updated, but they might see a shift soon because we're seeing the nerf to Spear of the Magus. So that's like a slight change. We might change from Spear of the Magus to Divine Ruin. So from one pen item to the other. But for right now, all builds are updated. The tier list is there for you to pick gods. Know your builds. Pull that shit up. You're like, oh, I want to play Hunbats this game? Guess what? SmiteSource.com. Go to Hunbats. Boom. Hunbats' builds right there. You can put it on your second monitor. You can put it on your phone. You could have it behind your Smite Gems, so you can tab out real quick anytime you back to read the builds. Know your build. It saves you time. You don't want to be sitting there trying to figure it out. You don't be late to a team fight because you don't know what you're doing. That helps. It'll also get you used to building the right way consistently, and then you will learn the builds. You won't have to start using the website all the time. You only use it occasionally. Know your builds, people. Yes. Number 4, buy 1 ward every time you back after you buy boots. Once you have boots, you've got your essentially your core item. Buy 1 ward every back. The only time that this changes is if you buy a tier 3 item, meaning you buy the full version of your item and you can't afford a ward, then don't buy a ward in that situation, because that's an important purchase that could win you a team fight. That 1 ward will be helpful, but it won't be the end of the world. Outside of that, after you boots, every back buy at least 1 ward. After 12 minutes, make sure that 1 ward is a counter ward. At least a counter ward every back, unless you're backing every fucking 0.2 seconds. Like we're talking like every 2 minutes, every minute. Buy a ward. Do it, please. You will not regret it. I promise you, you won't regret it. Your teammates will fucking love you. Just get used to doing that. If 2 or 3 people start doing that in every game, your vision control of the map will be huge. Number 3 on the list, during the early game, please, this is another purchase. On every back, buy a health pot when you buy those wards. Sounds dumb. It sounds teeny. That's why we're working our way down to these smaller things, in my opinion. Buy a health pot every time you buy a ward in the early game. This is sub 10 minutes and earlier. Because when you run back to lane, if you get poked and you can't walk up to the wave, you start getting proxied or you start getting zoned, meaning you don't get XP, you don't get gold because you can't walk up far enough, or you start dying more because you get poked a little bit and then the jungler ganks you. Having that health bot will get you to full health. It'll keep you safe. It'll keep you healthy. It'll keep you on the map farming gold and XP rather than backing every 3 seconds. That one health pot, say you buy 3 or 4 of those over the course of 10 minutes. It's a little bit of gold spent, but you make up that gold by not having to back to the base. That's something that you just start to look past once you're doing it. You just like realize this is good. This has value. This could have value. If you end up not using it for some reason, then whatever. You bought 1 health pot for 10 minutes. Like use it. Use it later in the game. If you never need to use it, then you probably won the game. Win-win in my opinion. Number 2, using abilities on the enemy while they are using theirs or when theirs are down. Sounds duh, like no fucking duh, I'm gonna use my ability when I can hit him. No, if a Ra is channeling his ultimate, use your abilities on him. He's not moving. It's an easy hit. It's a perfect time for you to use yours and move around the map. If a Raijin is casting his 1, you know for that entire duration, he will be standing in a small area trying to land his ability on somebody. And if he's not looking at you, guess what? You know, you have the freest of abilities to cast on this guy and to free cast on him and do whatever you want on him. This applies to so many things. If a god is in his animation, so honors in his animation for his 2, during that time he can't leap away. So use that ability on him that maybe he's been leaping the whole game, or maybe he's been aegissing the whole time. If he's in the act of doing something and using an ability, if he's in that cast animation, meaning he's throwing it out, he's fucking flying there, he's casting a spell, whatever the fuck, he can't do anything else for that second. It is 1 second that you know what's happening and you control that time, especially when they're not using those abilities on you. So take advantage of those situations. It happens so often where I'm like, all right, like I can't use, I don't know, I can't use this stun on him, or I can't use this range ability on him because he's just going to sidestep it, or he's just going to backstep it, or he's going to leap it every time. And then the second I see him going to cast that abilities in that animation, I'm firing that shit. In my head, I've already decided as soon as I see him do it, I'm doing mine. Get used to doing that. It makes it a lot easier and smoother for you to land those abilities that maybe aren't so easy or have maybe been disrupted the last 2 or 3 or 4 casts for you and lost you team fights. And then the ultimate tip, end all be all, once you get to the point where you're comfortable playing the game, this becomes the ultimate thing. Keep track of timers. Keep track of ability timers. Know when the enemy's Hunbat's ult is coming up. You don't have to know the exact number. If you do, awesome. If you know that, have a general idea. Hey, he just used his 80-second cooldown ultimate. I used mine 10 seconds ago, so mine's gonna come up, and then right after mine comes up, hey, his is gonna be up. So team, yo, it's up in 40 seconds because you know yours is coming up. It's up in 20. It's up in 30. All right, his ult's up. Knowing that is valuable. Knowing beads was used a minute ago and it's on a fucking 3-minute cooldown. Knowing this ability is on a 30-second cooldown and he just used it. That helps you be aggressive. It helps you make decisions. It helps you pull objectives. It helps you invade, helps you gank. It helps you fight in lane. Knowing that is important. If you see someone use beads, try to make it a habit if you're able to type it out. Learn the timers. Be like, yo, his beads comes back up at 5 minutes. He just used it. His beads come back up at 10 minutes. He just used it. Type that in game. Your team can recognize it. As you start to do that for yourself, your decision making will improve drastically. This gets even deeper outside of abilities and actives. It gets deeper onto timers of camps. If you know a red buff is coming up soon and the whole team's on the other side of the map, you can invade it. You know, you can run in there, grab it real quick and get the fuck out. That's free gold that you got and gold that they will never see, which is a small advantage for you. And as you build those up, you get 3, 4, 5, 6 small advantages. You instantly get that level lead. You get that 2-level lead, and then you just smash everybody on the map and you win the game. These 10 tips are massive by themselves, and once you manage to put them all together, your ass is gonna be winning a ton of games, and you're gonna see yourself rise out of whatever rank you are currently stuck in. Hopefully this video helps you guys. Hopefully you're liking the content lately. I'm doing my best. My editor's fucking killing it. We're doing everything possible. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And if you want to see any kind of specific content, drop that in the comments below. Let me know exactly what you want, exactly what you've liked so far, the content that you like seeing, the editing you like seeing. Be specific. Let me know. I'll continue it. I'll up it. I'll do what I can. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the video later today and tomorrow.